Hello and welcome back to Being Effing For Real. It's TJ here with JD. Say hi.
Glad to be here as always, y'all.
Yes. We're here on this fine Monday morning, I guess. And we're here to record for y'all. This is a bonus. So this is going to be 45 minutes or less. All right. And if it's
Mhm.
not, that's none of your business. So,
Yeah, we get a little carried away sometimes, don't we?
yes, we do, but that's neither here nor there. All right. So, today we're going to discuss what we've been watching recently. Um, and I have a little fun thing to talk about with my horror bracket. And me and JD have both been watching the same show as well. So, we're going to talk a little bit about that. So,
hmm
number one, friend, you finished Bridgerton season 1. How was that?
So initially, my friend Ariel, my friend Audrey, that they had put me onto Bridgerton. Honestly, they've been trying to put me onto Bridgerton for a while, like since the previous spring, but I have finally gotten around to it. I've watched it throughout this whole week, and it's certainly a unique show to say the least. I've never seen anything quite like it. It feels like a play, but not a play, if you know what I mean. Like it's written like a play, but it's shot like a drama. So I just thought that was like really unique from a filmmaker's point of view. I thought the acting was quite well, very authentic, if I may add. It's like, what is it, the 1600s or 1700s? I don't remember exactly what year it's in, but it's definitely in the vintage England, and some of the English words that they use in the show is certainly no English I've ever heard of. It's like some of these words that they use, like I take a pause for it's like, wait, what did he or she say? It's like I gotta look up like some of the vocabulary like used in Bridgerton. Yeah, it was certainly fun watching. I enjoyed it. Especially the ending I thought was bittersweet, and I hear the second season actually has a different storyline, but there are some reoccurring characters from the first season. Then there's Queen Charlotte, which is a prequel.
Yeah, I think it's an anthology, but like surrounded around the same
Yeah,
family.
it's the same family. It's called Bridgerton because Bridgerton is the family.
Yeah. Um, I've never tuned in, but love your review, friend. And then me, I've been juggling a lot over here. I'm currently watching 4 different shows.
Oh,
The fourth show is the Changeling, which we're both watching. But the
right.
first show was Shelter, on Amazon Prime. It's so good. I think we have one more episode left and it comes out this Friday, but the show is amazing. Very mystery thriller, and they're eating it. Like, I really love it. It's coming out weekly, so I can't binge, but it's so good. And then the next show I'm watching is Fiona and Cake, the Adventure Time spinoff. It's just super cute and super fun, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Hmm.
Um, I love the fact that Childish Gambino came back to be Marshall Lee. That
Okay,
was fun. Yeah,
that's funny.
that's fun. And then we got a whole episode with like Marshall Lee and I forgot Princess Bubblegum's male name. I don't remember. Anyway, we got a whole episode with them. It was super cute. And yeah, and I loved how each episode centers around a different character. They have like a whole title to themselves too, which is really cool. And then I'm also, hold on, let me pull up my chart. I have a whole chart full of my binges
Yeah.
so that I don't get lost because this happens a lot. Oh, and then because those episodes only come out weekly, while those episodes aren't on, I'm watching Being Human, from 2011, not the British one because ill, sorry. Um, I love me a good British show, but it's very rare that a British show is good. So yes, that is shade. Um, so I'm watching Being Human, the American one from 2011. I just made it to season 2. I'm on season 2, episode 3. And it's just as good as I remember it. I watched it with my aunt when I was younger, and it came out in 2011, which means I was 7. So, don't know
Mm,
why I was watching it. It's not appropriate for children. But you know what? I wasn't watching anything appropriate for children when I was younger. So, that's why I am the way that I
okay.
am. That's why I'm me. So yeah, I really love the show. It's really good. It's as good as I remember it. The only thing is that the monsters are just really ugly. I don't know, but
Yeah.
like on Vampire Diaries, all the vampires are sexy and like they look sexy as vampires, and then werewolves are just wolves, just big wolves. But on Being Human, like the vampires have like instead of having like red eyes, like red pupils or like irises or whatever, they have like like black eyes. It's like completely black, which is just not cute. And then the werewolves, like they look like animal wolf hybrids. They were like a snout and like
Yeah.
the
So
transformation is
just to ask you
ugly.
a question. So just to ask you a question about. So, would you say they're ugly, as in the designs are not good, or just like the designs are good, they're just genuinely ugly? Like, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
the designs are good, but it's just not cute. it's
Mm-hmm.
not it's not appealing. Like it's like I wouldn't walk up to this vampire and be like, "Yeah, let's go." No, thank you. You're the thing of nightmares, actually. Um, but yeah, it's a really fun show, and I'm really enjoying it. And then the fourth show is the show that we're both watching, which is The Changeling. Let's talk about
Yes.
it, friend.
Oh wait, before we get into the Changeling, so two other shows that I've binged recently, aside from the Changeling, which we're both watching, and I finished Bridgerton season 1. I recently finished a show on HBO Max called Project Greenlight, hosted by Issa Rae, and it was certainly, how best to put it. I think the process of making the movie that they were making was certainly creatively interesting to see, but it was quite disappointing in the end to see how it resulted in such a hot mess. And the movie that they made on Project Greenlight, it's called Gray Matter. I saw it on HBO Max right after I finished the documentary Project Greenlight. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my 20 years of living on this earth.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I saw that that movie was a thing. I didn't know it came from that show. Is it that bad, friend?
friend, it was wow bad.
Oh my
Like I couldn't even
god.
like make fun of it.
Oh no. it's
Yeah.
terrible. Oh Jesus.
I think but I honestly still recommend watching Project Greenlight, because I think, you know, even though the movie, the final product, ended up a hot mess, you can still learn from the mistakes that were made. Honestly, I don't think a lot of the fault is really to blame on the young director. Her name is Miko Winbush.
Mhm.
I really wish her the best. She just had a really rocky start, to say the least. When you consider in Project Greenlight, she really wasn't given a lot to work with. She was given a crappy script. Like, she was given just like, a really cliche like science fiction superhero script. A girl is struggling like with her powers, like a coming of age type thing. And it's like the budget that the movie was on, they weren't able to bring it to its fullest potential. Like, for something like with HBO's name on it, it looks like a fan film from YouTube. I could have made it in a garage.
Mhm. That's terrible. Oh,
Yeah.
that's sad.
And then the second one that I'm currently watching, which is also on Apple TV, because we're about to talk about The Changing, which is also an Apple TV original. You might have scrolled. Oh, wait, you say you don't have Apple TV, my bad, friend. But it's
Or the
another Apple
bootleg.
TV. Yeah, it's an Apple TV show called Invasion. It's an alien invasion show, hence the title. But honestly, as cliche as it sounds, I think the writing is what makes it quite unique. Honestly, I think it feels the most grounded. It's kind of like The Walking Dead meets like an alien invasion. Like, instead of like the world like banding together, like, for the one big threat, like they do in all these alien movies, like Independence Day or whatever. Because we know in reality that's just not the truth. There's nothing that would bring all these nations together. Honestly, that it's really like an every like man and woman for their own type of thing. And I just thought that that was an interesting take if an alien invasion was to happen.
Yeah, because we're not doing that. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's like a school fire. You want me to
Hmm.
walk out in a single line? Please.
And I think what makes it even more interesting in the writing, it's like an anthology series but a drama at the same time. So there's multiple characters spread across the earth. Like there's one character that's a Japanese scientist. There's this one guy that's a US Marine. There's this one kid from London, and it's like their stories kind of overlap with one another. Like they're all of their storylines are happening simultaneously, if you know what I mean. And
Hmm.
I've never seen a show quite like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, I love a good anthology, friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, God, I just had a brain fart.
Okay, friend, take your time.
Oh, did you hear about the alien in Mexico?
Honestly, no, but fill me in on the tea.
You did? You didn't see that picture? Oh my God, hold on.
I don't think I
the
did that.
memes, the memes are so funny. It's it looks like it's not giving real. It's an alien corpse that they showed in Mexico, and I don't know if I believe it. I don't know. It just looks really small to be an alien.
Oh, excuse me.
Here, look at these memes.
Let's see here. I am so obsessed with the iOS 17. It looks so cool. Oh, I saw this one meme that someone said that it looks like um that one character from SpongeBob, if you remember when they were delivering
Hmm.
chocolate bars. Yeah,
Yeah, and then the paper mache alien
bruh. Oh my
man,
god.
and then the Mexican thing. Like it doesn't look real. It's giving pinata.
Hmm. It looks like a piece of clay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Mexicans be knowing stuff, so I don't know. I don't know if I believe
Yeah.
that. It's just really small. It's really tiny.
You know what I'm about to say though? Oh, yes. Want to get into the changeling now, friend, or is there anything else you want to let off your chest?
Okay. Before we do the chain, we'll talk about my horror bracket. So,
Yes.
let me pull it up first because it's a whole website for it. I made a whole thing. Where did it go? Oh. Now let's take a little break to hear from our sponsors. It's summertime, guys, which means it's the prime time for festivals and concerts. This festival season, planning for faster, efficient hydration is essential. Liquid IV has you covered while you prep before, power through to the headliner, and recover after the weekend. Its convenient packaging and delicious flavors like watermelon and hydrating feeling keeps me coming back for more. One stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. They have 12 delicious, refreshing flavors to keep your hydrating routine exciting. Made with premium ingredients, non-GMO, and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. This is the perfect thing to keep you hydrated this festival season. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code BFFRPOD at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop hydration today using promo code BFFR at liquidiv.com. We have a whole bracket thing. So we
Mm-hmm.
have it all set. We have a whole
Ooh.
bracket thing. We have it all set up. So the first two movies were this movie called Hell House from 2005, I think, and this other movie
Mm-hmm.
called Wrong Turn from 2003. So it was that versus that. So I watched Hell House first, and somebody recommended to me, don't remember who, but they said it was one of the scariest movies they've ever seen. No offense, but you lied to me. It wasn't scary at all. Actually, it had one good jump scare, one real good jump scare. This is so funny. I knew the jump scare was coming, so I got up off my couch. I went to the back of my dining room where I could still see the TV, and when I tell you I jumped like into the air because it was good. And then I just burst out laughing because every time I get scared, I just laugh. And my mom says it's weird, but like I don't know. Even at a haunted house, every time I go to a haunted house and they scare me, I like scream and then immediately after I start laughing. But and like my mom thinks
Really?
it's weird, but like I feel like that's fun. I feel like my way is fun. Anywho, so I watched Hell House. It wasn't scary. It it had a good plot. Like I was enjoying the plot. It wasn't scary. It was more so unsettling. Like when I went upstairs, like I was a little scared. Um, but thankfully, I haven't had a nightmare in 10 years, which is why I can watch horror movies so often
Really?
because I don't get nightmares. So, anyway,
I
I
mean,
gave Hell House.
oh no, my bad. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Friend, you first. You first.
I gave Hell House a 3 out of 5. Um, and then the next one was called Wrong Turn from 2003. It was stupid. It was really stupid. I feel like I wasted my time. It had one good jump scare, but that is mostly because I stopped paying attention. So it caught me off guard because I wasn't really looking. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just bad. It was really stupid. That's these people who took a wrong turn in the woods and they start getting hunted by inbred cannibals.
Oh yeah, you just told me about this. I'm
I
just
don't.
like still surprised, even though right.
Yeah, and even more surprising, they have 6 sequels. I I don't know why. I don't know who's watching. That's the better question. Who's watching that? But yeah, anywho, that one got a 2 out of 5. It was not great. Hell House won that round, of course. And then so I watched Hell House on Friday, Wrong Turn on Saturday, and then last night on Sunday, I watched Grave Encounters from 2011, and that was actually scary. Like that is like
Mm,
the scariest and the best horror movie I've seen this year. Cause I've watched a few on my letterbox. If you follow me, I have a list full of the horror movies I've seen this year, and that one takes the cake. All right,
mm,
because it is a found footage movie, and most found and Hell House is also found footage, and most found footages don't be found footaging, like they don't be eating. But this Grave Encounters really ate, and the reason that it ate is because most found footage movies start off really slow, or like with a little montage where like I'm checked out, like I don't care anymore. But Grave Encounters started off funny. Basically, it started off as like a parody spoof of Ghost Adventurers, and it was funny. I was being entertained, and then they went to the asylum and stuff started going down almost immediately. They got right into it. And I was tuned in, I was there. It was a lot of jump scares, but they didn't come like run after the other. It was like spanned out really well and had a really good pacing. And it had like a lot of elements that I really enjoyed. So I gave that a 5 out of 5. Like that's how you do a found footage movie.
okay.
Um it was really great. So, and then the next one on my bracket to go with Grave Encounters, I have to watch Ganjiam Haunted Asylum. I'm gonna watch that tonight. I'm gonna see which one wins between that and Grave Encounters. Because I started watching it yesterday, but then I realized it was in Korean, so I would have to sit and watch the
Mm.
subtitles. So I couldn't do it while I was doing something else. So I have to like do that tonight, so I can just focus on it.
No,
Um,
that's the no, that's no, I was just gonna say that's the because it's like, when you're like watching anime or just I don't know, some sort of like foreign TV show, like just for some rough example, Squid Game. My mom and my dad were watching Squid Game, and they were saying it's like you're trying to watch it while like washing the dishes or doing laundry. It's a challenge because it's like unless you watched it dub, but they say that the dub is really bad. So they said they
for
just wanted
Squid
to
Game,
watch it. I think that's what they said, or someone else. I don't know.
the
They
dub
said
for
they
Squid
just
Game is
watched it in the.
fine.
They said they watched it in the Korean with the English subtitles, and they said they were like, just watch the show when you just sit down on the couch and like don't try to multitask with the show in another language.
I think I watched Squid Game in the sub version. And normally I will no, I watch it in the dub version. Normally I'll watch like foreign things in the sub version because I don't like the dub voices.
Yeah.
But for Squid Game it was fine. So it wasn't a problem.
Okay. I'll take your word for it, friend.
Um it was oh god. Yeah, but I'm excited to complete this bracket. I'm so excited for like I expect them to finish this by October. So those are the two I've done so far, and then my other ones are Candyman versus It, Sinister
Ooh.
versus Case 39, White Noise versus Record,
You're gonna
Um,
revoke my horror movie card for this, friend, but I never got around to watching the It movies.
I didn't either, friend.
Oh, okay, so I'm not
So
alone.
we're the same.
Someone asked me,
um,
they were like, "How did you not watch it? That was like the most popular movie of 2017." I'm just like, I don't know.
I only saw like bits and pieces of it because I think my parents were watching it one night and I was down there, but I wasn't really paying attention. Oh yeah, and then we have Midsummer versus Evil Dead. We have Terrifier versus The Gallows, and Megan is Missing versus Funny Games. So, and then in the end, we'll have one victor. I
Hmm.
don't know who will be.
We were talking about your horror movie list.
Yeah, my bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to complete it. It's probably gonna go into October as well, which is perfect for spooky season. I was supposed to start it in October, but I have no patience. So I started it this week. Um, but it's really exciting. I'm doing a horror movie a day, so I'm enjoying it. I was oh my god, I was trying to watch one of my favorite horror movies. I think on Thursday called Oculus,
Hmm.
and you could watch it with ads. So, and at first I was like, I don't want to watch a horror movie with ads, right? But I
Yeah.
gave it a try, and then like in the middle of a scary scene, an ad popped up for Olivia Rodrigo's concert, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this.
Uh,
You're ruining the vibes. Who wants to watch a horror movie
yeah.
with ads? Oh,
When
we're
people tell me there's
civilized
good,
people.
when people tell me there's good horror movies on Tubi, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to watch a horror movie on Tubi with the ads. It's just not gonna feel right.
Well, I've watched horror movies on Tubi with ads, but Tubi ads aren't long.
True, but still, I don't know, friend. It's
And
like,
then
what if I get an advertisement for, I don't know, some sort of like kids' toy store, or something? It's just like ruins the vibe,
if you watch a horror movie, then all of a sudden you hear "Get connected for free."
right? It's like it's nerf for nothing.
I would live. But for some Tubi movies, they only give you one ad at the beginning, and the rest of the movie doesn't have ads in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer those. But it's not bad watching on there. But on the other app I was watching on, it was like an ad every like 5 minutes, which like for what? First of all, we're civilized people. We don't have cable anymore. Let's act like it. Trying to get me to pay, please.
Mm.
I will open up a bootleg app real quick. Screw y'all. Anywho, you ready to get into the Changeling, friend?
I am. I was
Let's.
actually just reading more of the comments from that video that I was talking about for when we get into it.
Mhm.
But you could open us up with that, friend. You're the one that put me on, after all.
Okay, so, I watched this with my dad. I think it was last Friday, or no, it was last
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday. Last Wednesday. And we watched it together. In episode one, I was like, okay, this is giving weird vibes. I don't know what's going on here. Episode two, I was like, oh wow, this is eating. Episode three, oh, things started to get crazy. Things were
Mm-hmm.
insane in the membrane. And then I think episode four is out. Maybe I don't know, my brain. I'm watching so many stuff. But I think for episode four was really good too. Yeah, episode four is out. Episode four was really good too. And basically we have Apollo and his wife Emma,
Mm-hmm.
and his mom Lillian, and his father. I forgot his name. We both forgot his name. So,
I really don't remember his name.
and basically, Apollo and Emma meet. Well, Emma is working at the library. They go on a date. Apollo has this whole thing with declaring himself a god. Very random. But that's beside the point. So they go on a date. They hit it off. They get married or whatever. And I don't know how that goes, but basically one day when Emma's on a trip, she runs into this weird person on the rocks, and it turns out to be a witch. And they're like, "Oh, you keep this thing, you keep this red tie on your wrist, and your three wishes will come true." And so her first two wishes are for a good husband and a healthy baby, right? And
Mhm.
one day while on a lunch date, for some reason, Apollo decides to clip the bracelet. I don't understand why. What was the reason? Actually, there wasn't one. You.
There really wasn't one. The only thing that I can truly think of, if I was in Apollo's place, like he just wasn't taking the story seriously, because Emma tells him in a diner when they're having breakfast that she came back from her, what was it, like her business vacation in Brazil or something like that. Like she's exploring in the forest and she finds what we would assume is a witch, and that she ties this little red yarn bracelet around her left wrist, was it? And that she could be granted three wishes that she wants, but you just can't remove the bracelet. The witch didn't say why, but of course we would assume something bad will happen. Freaking Apollo, like I guess he wasn't believing the story. It was like, I'm the god Apollo. I could grant you whatever wish you want. It's like, I'm not gonna lie, friend. I kind of laugh every time he says that in the show.
It's so cringy. Like, why do you keep saying that? Stop. Oh.
Yeah.
And then, like, him and his little God complex needs to stop it. One thing
Right.
about a show, a man will always be your downfall. Look at this. All of this because you
Hmm.
decided to cut a freaking bracelet. Now
Right.
look at you. Your baby dead.
We totally forgot to put a spoiler warning for people that didn't watch yet, huh? So if you guys didn't watch The Changeling on Apple TV, starring my boy Lakeith Stanfield from Atlanta, Darius, this is your late warning now, because you already spoiled it.
So after he cuts the bracelet, they like go on to get married or whatever, and she gets pregnant, and she gives birth on the subway.
Hmm.
Ew, ew. Sorry,
Now,
that's
I'm no
nasty.
doctor or anything, but how realistic would you say that is, friend?
Oh, you can give birth anywhere.
Okay, okay, so I'm
If a
maybe
baby
overthinking
wants to come out your
it.
cooch, the baby's gonna come out the cooch, no matter the location.
Yeah.
Now, is it safe? No,
Hmm.
but can it happen for sure? I know
Yeah.
somebody that was born on the subway.
Really? In the New York
Yeah,
subway?
they're a little coocher.
Hmm.
Which I mean, what can you expect being born on the subway, right? Um, so that was that. So yeah, she gives birth to baby on the subway, and it's very apparent, like afterwards, that it's very apparent that she is going through some sort of postpartum. That's what it gave at first. It was giving like, okay, we got the mom, we got Emma, she's giving postpartum vibes. We got Apollo, he's taking the baby everywhere, on his business. He had him in a cute little carrier.
Hmm.
Um, so and it's looking like she was swamped at she like had to go back to work and she was scared to leave the baby with him. And then like it's like a normal family dynamic at first. And then she started getting these weird text messages showing her like pictures taken a little ways away from Apollo and the baby.
Hmm.
And one
But
day,
it's being sent from Apollo's contact, I
yeah,
believe.
and but it immediately deletes itself. And the weirdest thing to me about that was like, why was your last text to each other 4 days ago? Like,
Right.
let's talk about that.
But what? But
um,
for but I just got one thing to say, friend. If I was Emma, I was like, why don't you just screenshot that? Like,
exactly. That was
come
my
on now.
question too. Just like do a little quick doot doot. Like
And it's like,
it don't
I'm
take that
not
much.
gonna lie, I was starting to get a little frustrated at Apollo when he started gaslighting Emma over the text messages. Because it's like, my boy, does it really sound that crazy? It's like, if I was Apollo, I would believe her, because it's like, how do you know things are happening if you're not even with me? It's like, how do you know such a little detail of my day? Like, I put the baby on the driveway floor.
Also, yes, that was pissing me off too. Cause like,
Mhm.
how would she know? But also, why did she put the baby on the driveway?
Well, yeah, of course. Well, let me. Of course, like you shouldn't do that, but it's like it's such a little detail of his day. I would have been like, "How the heck did you know that?"
Yeah, same. I'd be like that too. But it's crazy to me that he put the baby on the drive. Why would you do that?
Right?
Well, there's no reason to put a baby on a drive. Mind you, this is a fresh baby.
Right.
on a driveway, concrete. No, and he wouldn't even. The baby wasn't even in a carrier, a car
Mm-hmm.
seat, a stroller. No, just straight baby on the driveway,
And
which is
then fast
crazy.
and then fast forward a little bit. This was episode 3, right when things really start to heat up, which is the episode when Emma just completely loses
Loses
her
her
cocoa
mind.
puffs. Yeah, that so it's funny that you had brought up the postpartum depression. The more that I keep thinking about it, do you think it was postpartum depression, or do you just think it was part of the whole possession, like leading up
Yes,
to that big scene?
I think it was leading up to it because at first I thought it was postpartum, but
Hmm.
it's just too weird.
First things first that I have to say about that scene, when Apollo says just don't hurt a baby, and when she says it's not a baby, the way that she turns around, it was like a whole like little stop motion like type of a, oh, that was creepy.
Yeah, I hated the way she and she said it wasn't a baby before as well. That was the morning where she wanted to take the baby to get baptized,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "No, you're not taking my baby to get baptized." And then he told the baby, "Well, you no matter what, you're staying with me." And then he
Ooh, friend. Oh my goodness. No, I don't mean to interrupt you. But speaking of the baptism, wasn't it Lillian, Apollo's mother, that she had insisted first that the baby gets baptized because of any sort of evil, a foreshadowing much?
Yes, Lillian knows what's up. Oh, also, we forgot to mention that in between the scenes with Apollo and Emma, we also get back uh, flashes of Lillian's life with
Yes.
before Apollo and then while she has Apollo.
Yes. You could
And
explain it,
weird
friend.
things go on too. I, friend, all right. Sorry, it's just sometimes I was on my phone, so you fill in the gaps.
Oh,
Um,
I could do it if you don't remember.
No, I remember some of it. So we see Lillian. She's escaping. I'm assuming she's somewhere African or
It
Caribbean,
was
wherever she is.
Uganda they mentioned
Uganda.
in
Yes,
this
yes, yes.
episode.
Yeah. So that's what she was, and her brother
Brother
gets
and sister.
murdered. Yeah, her brother gets murdered, and so she keeps driving the car, and then we see her, and now she's in America, and she's working as a. It seems to be some sort of is that
I don't know, some sort of desk secretary.
secretary. Yes, she seems to be working as a secretary. And this white man comes in, and the white man tries to lay on the charm. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "Sorry, I don't date white men." Which, like, yes, thank you. Um, and then he gets her fired, which, like,
Right.
what the heck?
It's
And so she
like,
goes, "Hmm?
no, because like she didn't even do anything for real. Like I would just assume that she was fired because racist old white boss. Like he thought that she was hitting on the white man. It's like we can't have no distractions on the job or whatever.
Yeah." And then he follows her home, and they
Right.
exchange words, which
It's
was
like
weird.
it's like if I was Lillian, it's it's like I would let him follow me home and be like, you think I didn't see you? Just like pop.
But yeah, and then she curves him, and he leaves. And
Mm-hmm.
you fill in this gap because I don't know how they got
Yeah.
together. So you fill that in.
So to your point, like she turns him down the first time in the office. She follows him home. I mean, excuse me, he follows her home. She says no again. Then now keep in mind this happens in 1968. I believe it then jumps to 1976. What is that, like 8 years later? The narrator mentions 8 years later, Lillian finally said yes to one of his dates, and they're just all of a sudden together now. And on their
Mhm.
first date, they go see Rocky, the very first movie that came out in 1976. And then soon after that, after they see Rocky, Lillian is pregnant with Apollo. And funny enough, I just mentioned Rocky. They wanted to name their son after Apollo Creed from Rocky.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, don't know how she fell into the white man's advancements.
Yeah, they really skipped over that. Like the narrator literally just said 8 years later. She just said yes on it. It's like it's like so. Imagine how many times this man asked over 8 years, and just out of the blue, she just gave in and said yes. Like what? And it's
You know
like
what?
another thing. You're asking this woman out for 8 years until she says yes. That is a beyond creepy obsession.
Oh, for sure. But at some point, when I know as a woman, if somebody is persistent for years, eventually you're like, whatever. Let me just get them off
I
my
don't
back.
know, friend. That's ooh.
I've done
It's
that
like,
before.
bro, there's like no other woman in the world you want to ask out.
I don't know. Especially because we talked about this, but Lakeith Stanfield isn't
He's not
biracial.
by. So we forgot to mention that Apollo's father, that he's a white man. Ironically, Lakeith Stanfield's not biracial in real life. I thought that was a rather interesting creative decision. That why didn't they just cast a biracial man?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe because Lakeith like did a really good audition. I mean, he is really
Yeah.
good in the horror roles. He be acting down.
Oh yeah,
So
of course.
so yeah, that was that. And then she has this. So one day the white man leaves allegedly, and then
Mm-hmm.
she gets this job.
When Apollo was 4, I believe they said.
Yeah, she gets this job, and her boss is harassing her to go on a date with him, and then she finally turns him down for the last time. And so instead of being a normal person, he decides to book her for Saturdays, I think. And her nanny can't stay with Apollo on Saturdays. So
Right.
Apollo is left at home alone on Saturdays. And he usually just stays in front of the TV, doing his own thing. But one day the bell rang, and it was his daddy. You feel this in, friend.
So here's where things start to get a little bit more trippy, folks. So when 4-year-old Apollo opens the door, it's a man with a blue mask, and when the man takes the mask off, it's his daddy. And then after he takes the mask off, there's this blue smoke that comes out of his mouth, and his eyes are black. I would assume that he's possessed, and it looks like that he's trying to kidnap 4-year-old Apollo and take him away from his mother Lillian. And then like right after that, Apollo wakes up like he had a bad dream, and his mother comforts him like it's just a dream. So this definitely when things start to get a little bit more complicated, because we learn in episode 3, I believe it was, that Lillian tells Apollo that those weren't dreams, that his father did try to actually come back for him.
Yeah, that was episode 4, I think.
Oh, that was for my bad.
I think so, but don't quote me, so I might be wrong too.
Yeah.
Anywho, so we go back to present day. Emma has tied up Apollo. She's beaten him somehow. I don't know. Tells him
Oh
it's
yeah,
not a
she
baby.
took metal chains and tied him to like the radiator pipe.
Oh yeah, and meanwhile, there's a tea kettle on the stove, and it finally, blows. And so I think we see her go into the room with the tea kettle,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get a flash forward, and Apollo is at the park, and he's there, just chilling at the park, and the guys come up to him, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we don't want you here anymore, my friend."
No, friend, some realization just hit me, and it's disturbing. So remember how Lillian said, "Are you gonna baptize the child, like to protect him, to shield him from any evil?" And then Emma's like, she's gonna go get the baby Brian baptized. Apollo's not with it, and then to your point, she grabs the hot teapot, and we assume that she kills the baby with it. Death by baptism. Because
Oh
remember,
wow, yeah. Oh, I didn't even peep that, friend.
yeah. Oh wow.
Oh wow, yeah. Um, and so
And
obviously.
remember, Emma kept saying that that's not a baby. So it's like in her mind, possessed. She thinks that she's doing the right thing, ridding this. It's not even a baby, ridding this
Evil.
thing of evil with the hot tea. Like it's not even a baptism. It's like an exorcism. But ironically, she's the one who's possessed.
Yeah, like even as she was leaving the house with the tea kettle, she was like, "I'll show you," which was
Mm-hmm.
really creepy. So we flash forward, pause at the park. The dad are like, "We don't want you here anymore." Da 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 da. And so we're thinking like, "Well, that's weird. His baby just died. Like, what's the problem?" Turns out Apollo, after Emma killed the baby, Apollo went to her place of work, which was a library, and he
Mm-hmm.
held the librarians at gunpoint. He was trying to figure out where Emma was, and they didn't know. So obviously he went to jail for time. And after he gets out, he goes to see his friend, and
Yeah, his best friend
Emma,
Patrice.
yeah, and Emma got him a book that was worth a lot of money, and so
To
he
Kill
gives
a
his friend the
Mockingbird.
book. Yes, he gives his friend the book, and he's like, "You sell it," and the friend is like, "Oh, this is where the suspicious. Um, I'm getting the vibe that you're gonna kill yourself. If you are, you'll never know how much this book is worth. So like, I better find you awake tomorrow."
Right.
Um, and so he is. And then he goes to this meeting with these parents of, I think, deceased children.
That's
Um,
what it was.
yeah, it's like
I didn't really put that two and two together. I wasn't like in my mind it was a domestic violence circle. I didn't really put that two and two together for it was deceased children.
yeah, they were all talking about their kids.
Mm,
So he goes there, and the other people were talking, and he started talking about people were asking him questions about like the library thing and his wife and his kid and da 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 da. So he kind of blows up at them and he leaves. And
mm.
then I don't know. This probably isn't chronological, but it's either here or there.
You
And
can put
then
it together,
he
friend.
Oh yeah, and then he goes home. Oh, I forgot to say, he goes home. And his mom's there, Lillian, and he's talking to Lillian about stuff. And then he tells Lillian what the last thing he said to the baby, and Lillian's like, "Why would you say that?" And which
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get because it's like, what's wrong with that? Yeah, Lillian tells him about.
Lillian Lillian certainly seems to play a larger role in the overall story that we haven't 100% realized yet. Because going back to the flashback aspect, aside from showing how she met Apollo's father and like, Apollo's father left when he was 4 years old, she's a single mother, like can't afford a babysitter. And then here's where the most interesting flashback with Lillian happens for me that really still has me thinking that it was in the opening of episode 4 that we see young Lillian that her face was beat up. I would assume that Apollo's father was beating on her. They didn't quite explain that. And she throws a red luggage into a river, and we don't know what exactly is in that red luggage. But at the ending of episode 4, it goes back under the water and shows that the luggage is still there.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if Apollo's dad is in it.
Ooh. Ooh, Frank. I didn't even think about that. Like she cut off his body, put him in the look. I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Yeah, which like I don't know why you would do that. Obviously, that would float. So
Mm,
maybe not. So that was the thing there. And then Apollo tells her about the thing with his dad and the blue breath and his things. It's like when he was left alone on Saturday. And she was like, "Those weren't dreams, those were memories." And so he's like, "What do you mean?" Anyway, we go to the next episode. Um,
mm.
wait.
Um. Yeah, episode 4. That this is when I was about to call him Lakeith. Apollo. That him and his best friend Patrice that they meet up with a guy named William who was in that circle for the deceased children, and that he wanted to buy
Oh,
the
oh, oh, oh,
Killing of
oh.
a Mockingbird book from him.
Yeah, we forgot to mention the lady at the meeting.
Oh yes,
One of the ladies at the meeting.
rewind, folks.
Yeah, one of the ladies at the meeting, I forgot her name. She talks about her daughter who was missing last episode. And then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, well, we find a way to bring her back," and da 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 da. And Apollo was like questioning her, and then she was like, "It's not a baby," and he yelled at her. And then she talked about how she got these text messages as well, but she somehow had the right mind to print them out. Which, like, printing, is it not easier to screenshot?
Right. I mean, who knows if that screenshot would have been deleted as well? So I guess it's not a terrible idea.
Yeah, she screenshotted it and then printed it. So
Hmm.
how you do that one. Anywho, she did that, and then she blew up and talking about it's not a baby, and then he blew up. It's like about, oh, that woman's gonna kill their child. It's like, I thought the baby was already gone. So like, I don't know how she's gonna do that.
Right.
Um,
That was a little bit of a plot hole.
yeah, and then he meets up with the guy who wants. Well, the guy chases him, talking about the To Kill a Mockingbird, and then Apollo blows up at him, which like warrants it. It's like, why are you chasing me?
Hmm.
Move. I'm obviously trying to get away, and you're like chasing me, talking about, oh, you run really fast. Well, I'm not slowing down for you. I'm trying to
Right.
get away. Anywho,
He looked
so
isn't even running that fast, ironically.
exactly. Okay, then what were you saying?
No, no, I really wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna say ironic. He wasn't even like running that fast. I realized that was kind of funny.
Yeah, do you want to carry on with the rest of the episode?
Oh yeah. So what happens is, so after this character William that he chases down Apollo after he flees the room after the woman freaked out. I'm saying it's not a baby. It's not a baby. So William, he wants to buy the Killing of a Mockingbird book from Apollo, but Apollo flips out on him and he's like, just take the effing book, just, like, get out of my face, because after what just happened, like, William, like, the moment you meet him as a character, he's just not all up there. It's like this dude just had a really like tense, like, what's the word, encounter, and he fled the scene, and he's asking, can I buy this book from you? So creepy character, like, right off the bat. But eventually in the episode he does agree to let William buy the book, which I don't remember why he agreed, to be honest. But point being, he sells the book to William, and later on in the episode, he meets with William again, actually, because Apollo, he actually starts to get like the weird anonymous text that Emma Valentine is still alive, like following the night of what happened when she killed the baby. And Apollo, he goes to, I'm not so sure where it was. It looked like a museum to me from the outside, but he sees in the distance that the anonymous texter was none other than William. Here's the thing start to get trippier once again. So it's like, so he's like, do you think this is some sort of sick joke, William? And he says that he could help Apollo not only find Emma but also find this character named Cal. I don't think we had mentioned Cal before, so this kind of rewinds to episode 3 when Emma was just losing her Cocoa Puffs. That she had mentioned to Apollo at one point that she had found some sort of support group for new mothers, and that the head of it was a character named Cal. It wasn't said whether if Cal was a man or a woman, but by the end of the episode, we do find out that it's a woman, and that this group of mothers are referred to as the wise ones, and that they had turned out to be a cult of some sort. They don't really dive too much into who they are, but we do get we do like get to actually see them like by the end of episode 4, because what's his name again, William, that he helps Apollo, and Apollo's best friend Patrice, he also tags along the adventure, like, to go, what was it, they rented a speedboat and they went like to this, I don't even know what to call it, like this island like off of the coast of Manhattan, where there was just literally just nothing there but this broken up building. And then that's when Apollo's ambushed by those, it was all women, right? Or was there guys too? I don't remember.
You know, friend, as you keep talking, I realize I haven't seen this episode yet.
Ooh. Oh, so you didn't finish episode 4.
No, because when I watched it, episode 4 wasn't out yet. I watched it on the 13th. Episode 4 came out the 14th, so I didn't see
Oh,
it
so
yet.
you only saw 1 to 3. Oh, should I even continue speaking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is Apollo meets Cal, and that she's the head of the wise ones, that mother group that it was not only influencing Emma, but that other woman that freaked out in the circle, and Apollo fled the scene. That it's not really 100% explained, but I theorize there's some sort of connection with the wise mothers in the witch in the Brazilian jungle,
Yes, it's a support
because
group of possessed mothers.
right. And that begs the question, were all these women also in Brazil, or they met witches in other locations?
Probably other locations because not that many people are going to Brazil in 1 year.
Right.
Off
It's
from the same.
certainly a little, it's certainly unexplained. I'm also thinking of the possibility that, what if this has to do with Emma's third wish that isn't explained to us yet as the audience? That what if she had wished something upon mothers? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find on episode 5, huh?
I don't think she would have wished anything upon mothers because at that it was a support group for new mothers, and at that point she
Right.
wasn't a mother
Because the
yet.
first two wishes, she wanted a good husband, Apollo, and then healthy baby Brian. She gave birth on the train. Was didn't say the third wish yet.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the group because at that point she didn't know the group. She wasn't a mother yet.
Right.
Hmm.
But yeah, episode 5 of The Changeling comes out this Friday on Apple TV. Yeah, that's really concludes the first 4 episodes. Do you have anything else to add to that, friend? Man, I think I kind of got all my thoughts off.
Yeah, just tune in, y'all. It's really great. Really,
Yeah, especially if you
really.
love thriller and horror. I think it's honestly a really nice balance. It's very suspenseful and thrillerish, but there are honestly some genuinely scary moments.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
really great. It's like American Horror Story meets Black Mirror.
Ooh,
Um,
that's definitely a good comparison.
yeah, it's really good. Oh yeah, American Horror. Speaking of, so watch The Calling. Next topic. Well, a little topic before we have to go.
Yeah.
American Horror Story is coming out with a new season this week, I think. It's This season is also about babies. So
Mm.
I forgot the name of it. I don't remember. Anyway, this is the season with Kim Kardashian in it, so we'll see how her
Oh
acting is.
no.
We'll see how she acts.
And she's the
Um,
main protagonist.
no, no.
Oh, she's
Emma.
like a side character.
Yeah, Emma Roberts is the main protagonist.
Uh, I
And
still
so I'm
never thought I
excited.
would see Kim Kardashian in a TV show. It should certainly be interesting because I'm still not over that music video she made a little while ago.
Mhm. So I'm excited for that. I'm gonna be tuning in, and then we also have Love Is Blind comes out this Friday. So I'm excited to start doing spaces on that. The cast this season is I don't I'm very interested to see who actually be on the main show, who actually like get engaged and stuff. Cause I don't from the trailer, these people are kind of boring. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's up with that. And then all these men kind of suck already off the bat. So and I've only seen the trailer and like their little description and blurb and stuff. So it's just so far they're not eating. So I'm really interested to see who gets engaged and who actually makes it on the real show. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about one of my friends though. So
Yeah.
follow me on Twitter if you want to hear our Twitter spaces.
Mm.
And yeah, do you have anything to say, friend?
Honestly, no. I would say that quite concludes the Changeling. I don't, and also in regard to other shows, no, I don't have anything else.
All right, friends. So we are at 54 minutes. Some of this
Getting
is going to
better.
be, yeah, some of this is going to be edited out. So it's not going to be 54 minutes long. So
Yeah.
we'll probably be at like in the 40s or 50s, lower. So yeah, thanks for listening to this bonus. This is the last episode we're going to record in September, I think. Because
Mm.
I'm going on vacation at the end of the
Yeah.
month. So we made a bunch of episodes and we scheduled them. So yeah, I think this is it. Maybe I'll split this in half and then have it. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I don't know. Anyway, I'll figure it out when I edit it. Thanks for listening. This is TJ and JD signing off.
Till the next
Toodles.
one, y'all.
Yeah.